The atomic bomb.
And he scores on the last play of the game. Unbelievable.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Quincy Bell Sports, and today we're going to be making our ACC picks. I'm sorry, I was supposed to upload them yesterday, but I wasn't feeling well, and it wouldn't have been that good of a video. But today we're going to upload the ACC and the Pac-12, so you guys got something something to look forward to there. Now, everyone kind of knows who's going to win the ACC, but I'm going to kind of try to do my best to make this an entertaining video and give you some in-depth analysis of the rest of the teams. And without further ado, let's get into it. So the first division we will start with will be the ACC Atlantic. And there's an ACC Atlantic and an ACC Coastal, which the Atlantic and the Coastal, it feels like kind of the same thing. I don't understand how Pittsburgh's in the Coastal because it's nowhere near a coast. It is what it is. But anyway, let's get into the ACC Atlantic picks. Finishing last in this division, we have the Louisville Cardinals. And it makes me kind of sad to say this. My dad went to Louisville, and I don't think they'll have a very good year. Ever since Lamar Jackson left, it's been downhill. They played Notre Dame week 1 at Notre Dame. Or no, at home. My bad. At Cardinal Stadium. I think that'll be a loss, so 0-1. I think Eastern Kentucky and Western Kentucky will be both wins. So we have 2-1 there. Florida State, I think, will be a loss, 2-2. Boston College will be a loss, 2-3. Wake Forest will be a win, 3-3. Clemson will be a loss, 3-4. Virginia will be a loss, 3-5. Miami will be a loss, 3-6. North Carolina State will be a loss, 3-7. Syracuse will be a loss, 3-8. And I think Kentucky will also be a loss. So 3-9 for the Cardinals. I don't think it'll be a very good season for them. But, yeah, they don't really have that many good players on their team. And they have a pretty tough out-of-conference schedule playing Kentucky and Notre Dame. And I don't think it'll be a very good season for Louisville. All right, next we have Wake Forest. I don't think it'll be a very good season for them either. They do have, I will say this, Utah State will be a win. Rice, I think, should be a win. North Carolina is a win. And Elon, oh, what a mighty opponent there. I think that will be a win. So I have Wake Forest actually starting off 4-0. However, I think it will be losses to Boston College. I think they'll lose to Louisville. I think they'll lose to Florida State, NC State, Virginia Tech. They're definitely losing to Clemson. Duke, I think, will be a loss, and then Syracuse. So I have Wake Forest going 4-8, and I have them going 1-7 in conference, and that's the same as Louisville, but I had Louisville beating them. So I don't know. So they have the same conference record, but Wake Forest would have a better overall record, but Louisville would have the head-to-head. I don't really know what the first tiebreaker is. It doesn't really matter, but anyway, let's go to the next team. All right, now we have everyone's favorite team, the ever-underachieving Florida State Seminoles. And I don't know what it is, but I saw something about how they had, or like last year, they tried to copy like Miami's turnover chain, but they had like a turnover purse or something. I have no idea what they're doing down there. It's pretty much been downhill for them. But anyway, I think it'll be another underachieving year for them. They start the season off against Boise State, and I actually think that will be a loss. Boise State, I feel like, is going to come in there with an attitude and a purpose to prove that they can beat a good team. Well, not that Florida State's a good team, but for Boise State to prove that they could beat a Power 5 team or something, I think Boise State gets the win. I think Florida State could beat Louisiana Monroe. I think they'll lose to Virginia, and I think they'll beat Louisville, so 2-2 to start the year. NC State will make that 2-3. Clemson will make it 2-4. Wake Forest will make it 3-4. Syracuse will make it 3-5. Miami will make it 3-6. Boston College 3-7. The Alabama State Hornets, what a mighty team indeed. We'll make that 4-7, and then they have to play their older brother Florida, and I think that will be a loss. So 4-8 for Florida State, not really expecting too much out of them this year. Next, we have the Boston College Eagles, and I think they have a chance to make a run at this division. Actually, never mind, Clemson's in this division. My bad. But I feel like they have an interesting team coming in, and they have an interesting schedule with a lot of winnable games that could be close. Virginia Tech on opening day, I think that'll be a loss. Richmond and Kansas should make that 2-1, and then they play Rutgers, so 3-1 there. Then I think Wake Forest and Louisville will make it 4-1 and 5-1. NC State will make it 5-2. Clemson will make it 5-3. Syracuse, that's 5-4. Florida State, that's 5-5. Notre Dame, I think, will make it 5-6, but then I think they get a win against Pitt to end the season at 6-6. I think they make a small bowl game. I think they were supposed to play Boise State, and then their bowl game got canceled last year. They didn't even replay it or something. So I think 6-6 will be Boston College's ending record. Coming in third in this division, in my opinion, are the NC State Wolfpack. I think they have a pretty good chance, I think, to maybe beat Clemson, although please don't guarantee that for me. But let's just get into the games. East Carolina will be a win. West Carolina will be a win. West Virginia, I think, should be a win. They don't have Will Greer anymore. And then Ball State will be a win. So 4-0 out of conference. Yay, Wolfpack. Florida State will be a win. Syracuse at home in prime time. That's going to be a loss. I think that will be a loss. Boston College, though, that'll make it 6-1 if they beat Boston College. I say they win Wake Forest to make that 7-1. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So 7-1. Then they play Clemson at home. I think that will be a close competitive game. I think Clemson will have to fight for every point, but I think they do come out with a win. So that's 7-2. Louisville will be a win, so 8-2. Georgia Tech will be a win, 9-2. And UNC will be a win, so 10-2 for the Wolfpack. I think is pretty fair. Only losses to Syracuse and Clemson. They really don't have any tough opponents on their schedule besides those two. So NC State, I feel like, can roll into maybe a pretty big bowl game. Finishing in second, we have the Syracuse Orange. It's the rankings came out tomorrow. The rankings came out yesterday, not tomorrow. The rankings came out yesterday. They're actually ranked 22. Now, they have an interesting schedule on their hands. They play Liberty to open up the season. I think that'll be a win. Maryland will be a win. I think Clemson at home will be a bloodbath and a hell of a game, but I think that'll be a loss, 2-1. Western Michigan and Holy Cross will both be wins, so that's 4-1. NC State will be a win, 5-1. Pittsburgh will be a win, 6-1. Florida State will be a win, 7-1. Boston College will be a win, 8-1. Duke, Louisville, and Wake Forest, I think, can all be wins, so 11-1, although I think that's the best case for Syracuse. I think best case 11-1. I honestly think they'll probably go 10-2, 9-3, but I have them going 11-1 just as of now, but I feel like they'll end up going 10-2 or whatever. So now, the obvious winner in this ACC division, the Clemson Tigers. Now, let's get this out of the way. I think they're going 12-0. A brief rundown, they play Georgia Tech, Texas A&M, Syracuse, Charlotte, North Carolina, Florida State, Louisville, Boston College, Wofford, North Carolina State, Wake Forest, and South Carolina. I think they can win all those games, but instead of just going through and say win, I'm going to talk about spots where they might lose. At Syracuse in Week 3, I feel like is a danger game for them. The last time they played there, they lost. And I don't know, last year Syracuse almost beat them, so I feel like that's a danger game. At NC State, I feel like could also be a different. I feel like at NC State could be a good one. I mean, NC State is a pretty good team. I feel like they might be able to push them in a close game. But I feel like if Clemson's going to lose at all, it's going to be in Week 2 against Texas A&M at home. Texas A&M has a very good team this year, and I feel like they are going to be looking for some revenge after last year when Clemson almost lost. I actually picked Texas A&M in that game last year, but Clemson ended up winning by the skin of their teeth. So I have Clemson going 12-0, but I feel like they have a really good chance to lose to Texas A&M, Syracuse, or NC State. So that was the ACC Atlantic. Now let's move on to the ACC Coastal. Okay, so let me tell you right now. UNC is going to have a very, very rough year for football, okay? They open up the season against South Carolina. I think that's a loss. Week 2 is against Miami. That's a loss. Wake Forest, I think, will be a loss. Appalachian State, I'm actually going to go on a limb and say that's a loss. So 0-4 to start off. Clemson will be a loss, 0-5. I think they get beat by Georgia Tech. I think they get beat by Virginia Tech. Duke, I think, will be a loss. Virginia will be a loss. Pitt will be a loss. So right now we're sitting at 0-9. Mercer, I think, will be a win. Hey, you guys got to win. And then NC State, I think, will be a loss. So 1-11 for UNC. It's not looking too good this year. All right, now Duke fans, I know you guys got so excited right after I said that UNC would go 1-11, but you guys, I don't think will fare much better. You guys start the season against Bama. I think we know that's going to be a loss. Then you play North Carolina A&T. Fun fact, Tariq Cohen went there. Tariq Cohen from my Chicago Bears. That'll be a win. Middle Tennessee State will be a win. Virginia Tech is a loss. Pittsburgh's a loss. Georgia Tech is a loss. Virginia is a loss. UNC is a win. Notre Dame will be a loss. Syracuse, I think, will be a loss. Wake Forest, I think, will be a win. And Miami will be a loss. So 4-8, I have Duke finishing at. All right, next we have Georgia Tech. Now, they have an interesting team. I mean, they run that triple option, and sometimes it throws teams off and stuff and whatnot, but I'm not really sure. They opened the season up against Clemson, and I think that'll be a loss. Then they play South Florida, and I want to say that's going to be a loss, but I think at home, I think they can get a win. So that's 1-1. I think the Citadel will be a win. I think Temple will be a win. So that's 3-1. UNC and Duke will both be wins, so that's 6-1. Miami will be a loss, 6-2. Pitt will be a loss, 6-3. Virginia will be a loss, 6-4. Virginia Tech will be a loss, 6-5. NC State will be a loss, 6-6. And Georgia will be a loss, and I actually miscounted. So I have Georgia Tech finishing 6-6. They play Clemson and Georgia to start the year and end the year. So, but maybe I think they'll make a bowl game. Next, we have Pitt, who actually won this division last year and then got killed by Clemson in the ACC Championship. They opened the season against Virginia. I think that'll be a loss. Ohio, I think, will be a win. Penn State, I think, will be a loss. UCF, I think, will be a loss. Delaware, I think, will be a win. So 2-3 to start the season. Duke will be a win, 3-3. Syracuse will be a loss, 3-4. Miami will be a loss, 3-5. Georgia Tech will be a win, 4-5. North Carolina will be a win, 5-5. Virginia Tech will be a loss, 6-6. And Boston College will be a win. So 6-6 I have for them. I miscounted again, my bad. I think they have the same record as Georgia Tech, and I think they will still make a bowl game. The U are the next team on our list. I think they finished third in this division. If we take a look at their schedule, they start the season against Florida this Saturday, and I think that will end up being a loss. And I'll have a more in-depth preview on this game later this week, probably on Friday. So that's 0-1. Next, they play North Carolina, make it 1-1. Bethune-Cookman, 2-1. Central Michigan, 3-1. Virginia Tech and Virginia, I think, will both be losses, so 3-3. Georgia Tech, 4-3. Pitt, 5-3. Florida State, 6-3. Louisville, 7-3. FIU, 8-3. And I think Duke will make that a 9-3 season for the U. Not bad. I really like Miami coming into this season. Well, I'm not a huge fan of Miami, but I think 9-3 could be enough for them. They don't really play that many good teams besides Florida, so I think they can go 9-3. If you want to talk about an easy schedule, you have to look at Virginia Tech. They start the season off with a very easy bunch of teams to face. Boston College is a win. Old Dominion should be a win, even though they beat them last year. Furman is a win. Duke is a win. We just talked about Miami. That's a win. Rhode Island is a win. And UNC is a win. That's 7-0 to start the season. Then they play Notre Dame, and I think that's a loss, 7-1. Wake Forest is a win, 8-1. Georgia Tech is a win, 9-1. Pitt is a win, 10-1. But then they face Virginia, and I think Virginia will be a loss. But 10-2 for the Hokies, that's pretty good. I think they're going to make a very good bowl game. And speaking of an easy schedule, but I honestly think that Virginia can win this division and be a very, very dark horse to beat Clemson in the ACC Championship. Let's go over their schedule. Pitt is a win. They play William and Mary. I think that's a win. Florida State is a win, and Old Dominion is a win. That's 4-0 to start the year. Just like Virginia Tech, they do play Notre Dame. That's a loss, so 4-1. Miami is a win. Louisville is a win, so that's 6-1. North Carolina makes it 7-1. Georgia Tech 8-1. Liberty 9-1. And then I miscounted, so we're actually at 10-1. And then I think they could beat Virginia Tech to go 11-1. In my opinion, they really only face two hard opponents, that being Virginia Tech and Notre Dame, and I guess maybe Miami. But I honestly think Virginia can use this week's schedule and get to the ACC Championship. Now, I don't think they'll end up going 11-1. It's just, I think for now, that's what I'm going to say they're going to go. But I think they'll end up going like 9-3 or 10-2. So I think that the ACC Championship will be Virginia and Clemson. Now, I think Clemson will win. They're the obvious choice. Although Virginia could give them a run for their money. They looked pretty good last year. They beat South Carolina in the Milk Bowl. So, hey, stranger things have happened, but I think Clemson's going to end up winning this conference. But thank you guys for watching. Sorry I couldn't get this out yesterday. I was feeling a little sick. But later today, I should be able to do the Pac-12, and that's going to be pretty interesting. The Pac-12 is always very competitive, and I like to see that. So make sure you guys stay tuned to that. I'm Quincy Bell Sports signing off, and I'll see you next time.